Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Talking Points. Today we're really going to try and discuss Obama's legacy, his legacy over his 8 years as president, and really what his pros and cons of his term, and kind of what he has on, what's his take on healthcare is.
Yeah, not too many pros though.
Yeah.
Not too many pros.
We were kind of coming up dry for pros, but
yeah, we couldn't really think of anything. It's a lot harder to think of pros and cons. Alright, just to start it off.
It ain't easy being unbiased.
Our only pro, pretty much, is obviously he was the first black president. That did, I guess,
That broke some boundaries.
broke some boundaries. It
helped out. Alright.
Gained a little confidence to the black community that, you know, one day maybe you can be president too. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
anybody can.
He had some nice speeches, and I don't know.
All right, just get to the comments.
Okay. It's kind of tough.
Number one, huge military cuts.
All right, let's see. This is a two-parter here. We have his pull out of the Middle East, which in a sense made ISIS. It made the vacuum. It made terrorism rise. The mass shootings have gone up, terrorism's gone up, and then what does he do? He shrinks the military. Grade A politics. So it's worse both ways. How does that make any sense? All right.
And he came from Chicago, right? What has he done for people in Chicago?
Oh yeah,
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He's done nothing, and they still love him for some reason. Oh God.
Well, that's just the uneducated vote.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, and the military cuts. It's been the smallest military since, was it like 1940?
It's back there. It's far back.
Yeah, and if there wasn't more time to, vamp up the military, it would be now with all this
growing terrorism that he's partially responsible for.
Becoming a standstill.
All right, so that was another one of his cons, was the pull out of him and Hillary, pull out of Middle East. We got another point with the national debt.
Nearly doubled.
Let that sink in for a second. Started out at what?
He said he was going to cut it in half.
Yeah,
and
he did the opposite.
That is literally the opposite of what he said he was going to do.
So that's another point right there. How does that happen? At least Bush kind of had an excuse to get some national debt with going into the Middle East, which
9/11
was a horrible. Yeah, 9/11.
Have to do something about it.
And going in the Middle East was a horrible. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was a shitty decision. But that's an excuse. What's Obama's deal with this national debt? With a shrinking military? No.
But the way they're going to get rid of it, they're just going to increase. They're just going to increase taxes, take it out of our pockets for their screw ups,
and then they think that's going to work somehow. Number one expenditure of the federal budget: welfare.
Let that sink in. Welfare.
Welfare, giving away. I understand welfare is a good thing for some people who need it, but not to be abused. It's supposed to, for the homeless guy on the street for 1 year, 1 or 2 years max. Get him on his feet and get him a job, get him going. Not for the people who abuse it. The guys living in trailer parks, living off of welfare, can't get a job, can't get off their lazy ass. And don't want to do anything.
Welfare fund. In New York City alone, $250 million has been spent on welfare.
$250 million. There is not that many homeless guys on the street we need to support for 2 years.
And just because you make a low salary doesn't mean you should be on welfare for, 5-10 years?
All right.
Needs to stop.
Here's another point we got. This goes, again, into the national debt. The foreign relations policies Obama's put in place with free trade, support for free trade. Guess what? That doesn't work. It never worked, and it still doesn't work for our country. It's a nice thought that counts, but other countries continuously take advantage of our high wages here.
NAFTA's a perfect example.
NAFTA's a perfect example. We've heard so much feedback on NAFTA and about how bad it was. And what does Obama try to do? He tries to make it even open, more free.
Mexico's a perfect example that they're just screwing us on trades.
Mm-hmm. Mexico and China. They have the low standards of living, and they have the low wages, and they can afford to produce things cheaply in mass, and then they can afford to kill us in trade.
Yet another reason we do not need to raise the minimum wage. Just chucking that out there. All right, the next con is the racial divide. Now he came into office, and everybody thought that the
black president would heal us.
Oh, it only set us back about 30 years.
It did the opposite. Look at Black Lives Matter. Look at white supremacy. Look at all of these protests going on. Look at stomping on the American flag and waving the Mexican flag. Look at all of these different things. These fights and riots in the streets over racial divide when we have a black president. But apparently it's white America.
Yeah. Well, according to black America it is.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we can't forget about Obamacare.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Lord.
Let's just clap for Obamacare.
Wow. That's a number one con there. To anyone who says it works.
A job killer and poor healthcare all in one.
To anyone who says it works, how would you like paying more for worse coverage? That's
essentially what you're getting.
Yeah. It's just Obamacare wrapped up and tied in a bow. It makes no sense. It was a nice thought.
His whole plan was that it would eventually become single payer healthcare, which is pretty much socialism, and that's not what America's all about. So let's talk about healthcare real quick.
Yeah, it's a nice thought that people who can't afford healthcare can get it paid for them for a little bit to get on their feet. It's a nice thought, and that's all it is a nice thought. It didn't work. Don't keep trying. We know that competition works. Competition gets you the best prices for the best coverage possible.
You gotta let capitalism take its course. So they shouldn't have made healthcare required in the first place, because all that does is just, when it's required, the companies are just gonna set a monopoly and raise the prices because they know you have to get it.
Yeah.
If you need it, I mean, everybody wants healthcare when it's not required, so that the prices are lower. Because not everybody's going to buy it.
Exactly.
But when it is required, everybody's got to buy it. So raise the prices, and they make more money off of it. It's just simple capitalism.
This is why Republicans hate Obama. Not because he's black. Not because his middle name's Hussein. Not because of any of these BS reasons that liberals throw at us. Not because of anything. We just listed a solid 6 cons on why he's bad, and broke most parts of his presidency down. And we had one pro. One pro!
That's hardly pro.
We tried to be fair.
He was born with that pro, okay?
We tried to be fair. Alright.
Say live and let die.